Just laying on our backs. Take a moment to feel the muscles of the backside of your body just completely relaxing. This quality of releasing any effort of the day. Allowing there to be release and comfort. Where previously there was maybe only tightness. Just allow a couple of deep breaths, even focusing on the exhale, letting that exhale be slightly longer than the inhale. That's a breath that cools and calms our system, bringing us to a relaxed state like sleep. So maybe even adding on a count to your breath. Take a few rounds where inhale is maybe 4 counts. Exhale is longer. It's about 6 counts. So see if you can establish that rhythm in your body, a few good rounds. Extra long exhale prepares us for sleep. And that's the big focus of our class today, is trying to relax and release a lot of the tension. Trying to help our body and mind get to the point where we can, this evening, be able to rest. A very peaceful, very restful slumber. So this breath is something to return to over and over today. Huge inhale. That long breath mimics what we do naturally right before we fall asleep. You'll notice just a handful of the things that we'll do toward the beginning of class incorporate a little bit more activity than we normally might do in a restorative yoga class. The thought behind it is that sometimes in our sedentary lifestyle, we may go through a significant portion of our day with barely using the legs at all. And that inactivity through those strong, big muscles may lead to a sense of restlessness in our body. It's like the body isn't satisfied. It hasn't been used quite enough. So there'll be just a handful of things that lightly fatigue the muscles of the legs. And then all the rest of our beautiful restorative classes and our restorative poses in class today will be all about stretching and increasing the circulation, those beautiful, huge muscle groups that support us all day long. So here as we're preparing for just a little bit of physical stuff, begin by stretching your arms all the way to that back wall. Start to point and flex your feet. Doesn't have to be anything fast, just a slow journey, pointing as far as possible. And then peeling the toes back to flex. We'll take that just a few more rounds, kind of waking up our feet. Next cycle completes. Allow your knees to come into chest, hands circle around onto each knee. Let there be some easy movements through the low back. So this first thing that we'll do to lightly fatigue the leg muscles can be done either from a bent knee position, which will be the easier variation, or a straight leg position that will require more strength, more effort. So you choose either way, bent knees or straight legs up above us. The legs will open out wide and then squeeze back together. It's nothing super rigorous, but just feel those leg muscles having to go through external work and then internal work. Specifically, these leg muscles are ones that we don't use all of that often. Walking uses much more of the forward and backward motion rather than that side to side like a crab walk. So here, a nice slow pace. Let's take another 3, 2, 1. Good. From here, legs up to sky. There can be a bit of a bend to the knee, and what we're going to do is pulse the knees to bend even more, and then straighten as much as feels okay. We're just going to take 10 of those nice and easy. So bending of the knee any amount, and straightening back up as much as we can. Here's 8. If it's feeling too much, you can always take a break. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You bring the legs back to stillness. Feel how there might be a little bit of shaking by now in the quads, the psoas. That's good. Let's take a little break, doing a nice easy twist. Both knees bend. The arms spread open left and right. Just send the knees to the left. So the legs have this nice restorative release. We'll give them this break, and then we'll come up to standing for just a handful more postures. And like I promised, all the rest will be those good restorative things. But feel already in this rest how much circulation is going on. It's like blood is rushing to the legs now to help pump those muscles. So if today was a day with little activity in the legs, just notice how it feels already. It's like the legs have kind of turned their on switch all the way up. Notice if the breath was kind of sporadic after doing those 2 strengthening things. Notice if you can return back to the calm, slow breath. Even adding counts if that's useful. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Reminding things how to slow down when it's time for rest. That slow breath rate. Let's allow ourselves 2 more of those breaths. A good deep inhale, 4. A really long exhale, 6. And 1 more just like that. That second exhale, the knees pick up gently so we can switch sides. Now it's the left shoulder that's focusing on staying rested down. Let the knees gently fall over to the right. Notice if there's tight things kind of resisting this. Maybe it's tightness in the hip. Maybe it's tightness in the jaw or the neck. And see if you can invite your body, that particular tight area, to relax just a little bit more. In this spot, let's go through 2 more of those good deep breaths. And after the second one, the knees come back up, a hand on each knee. Give the low back a couple of those easy rocks. Good work. So we're going to take a standing posture for a couple of poses. So when you're ready, start to take your weight all the way up. Some of us might go easy and slow, rolling to a fetal position, and then pressing into the ground. Just take your time, however you're getting up. We'll just do 2 little strengthening things here. So the first one, you can, if you need the help with the balance, you can either turn around and use fingers on the back wall to balance, or use the end of the chair. But this is going to be just a slight little raising up of the the heels up, just engaging those calf muscles, and then a slow lowering down. So we're going to try to go for about 10 of those. So slowly lift up and down. You lose your balance, notice how, here's 9. Notice how losing balance makes the heels drop right back down. So see if you can find a sweet spot where it's not quite so high that you have to just slam it down. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good, and then sliding the big toes to touch. Heels are separated by a little bit, centimeter or 2. The hips start to sit back like we're going into a chair. Hands can be resting on thighs or coming to heart for just a little bit more difficulty. And the idea here is it's not enough that others can really see much of a difference, but what we're gonna do is pulse just a little bit down and just a little bit up. This is engaging a lot more of those hip, quad, hamstring type muscles. I'm gonna count another 10. Obviously take breaks if your muscles start to get on fire, but here's 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release out of that. So again, that sensation almost like a light shaking. Here's where we'll start to use our chair. So feel free to scoot your chair just a little bit up onto your mat, facing it toward you, the seat toward you. We'll take a nice, easy pyramid pose from here. So let your left foot be forward. Your right foot slides back. You're finding a placement where the back heel can easily be down. So if I were to go too far, it would need to be lifted for me to still reach the chair. So instead, scoot it forward enough that back heel can easily be down, front leg is straight. So you've got basically two options here. If the front leg is already starting to bend a lot, perhaps the staying in this half forward hold is a beautiful way to be with that hamstring, the leg. If anybody would like to lower down to elbows, that would be the second option. When it's just slow and easy. So if anything, the breath or the heart rate picked up from the handful of strengthening things we did. This is the chance to begin to invite it back down to still, calm and slow. Really start to switch. So let the knees bend. When the back foot steps forward, try to keep about the same stance that you've had, front foot sliding back. Again, this is perfectly fine to stay propped up on hands. In fact, if the head feels like it's tight from holding its weight up, let the head just drop. You don't have to hold that tension. Perhaps you're dropping down to elbows if flexibility allows for it. No pressure. It's not about the shake that you get into, it's about the experience with movement. Our next 2 breaths, inhale 4, exhale 6. We finished that one. Gradually step feet together. We've got one more standing pose. This one will be a wide angle pose. We're gonna turn the chair to be in front of us from the side in a way that we can have wide legs facing into one another, right in the center of the room. Legs are pretty wide, maybe a good 2.5, 3 feet or so in between. I like to keep the toes pointing directly forward, if not toes slightly pointed inward. And then it'll be the same approach. So maybe we're satisfied completely with a nice half forward fold, wrist propping us up. Some of us might drop down to elbows. If you're getting to the point where you want to rest your head down, what I would do is slide the chair further so that your arms have to really reach forward. Head dropping down right in between. So lots of options. Just find the spot that's going to work for you here. About 2 more of our breaths. Inhale 4, exhale 6. Easy return up after that second finish. The breath. Facing forward, we'll come down to sit toward the top part of the chair. Yeah, you can either face to mirror or face to center of room. It's up to you. I'm kind of fun to have a little 90-degree angle there. That's fine. It doesn't matter too much. The idea is taking right ankle to left thigh. There you go, face into one another. That works. Right ankle to left thigh. Good. And sometimes just sitting up is enough for that hip. So in that case, just rest. Even scooting to the back of the chair to just let the spine be supported is fine. If you want more, one option is start to push the right hand into the right knee. That'll invite that right hip a little bit more open. Another option for more would be starting to lean forward onto the shin, or even kind of hug around everything, dropping hands to the floor, kind of whatever would you feel comfortable and supported with that. So lots of options. Just play around until you find a comfortable place where you can rest and relax right hip open. Relax with this hip, another 2 cycles of that breath. Inhale 4, exhale 6. So we start to release that right ankle. It might feel nice to kind of let both knees do some easy windshield wipers, rocking left and right. Good. Eventually taking that left ankle up when you're ready. So same approach. Don't feel like you have to rush immediately into anything deep just because you did it a moment ago. It's a slow journey, so perhaps just sitting here is enough. Listen to that left hip. Perhaps it wants some pressure, in which case left hand can help to increase the stretch. Perhaps dropping down to elbows or forearms would be something nice. Leaning further forward. Again, explore until this side feels set. Two more of those breaths, same count. Second breath finishes, perhaps a few of those windshield wipers will be nice again, just easing some motion back into the hips. It can be super exaggerated from the chair, just really tilting over to each side. Good. Since this class is so heavy on forward folds, let's take a moment here to do a back bend. Scoot almost the glutes toward the end of the chair, and then grabbing as high up as feels comfortable for the shoulders, but still sitting tall. Continue to let the heart arch forward. The chin lifts up a little bit. Let there be some space through that front part of the body. Another inhale of 4. Exhale of 6. Good. Dropping the hands to thighs, let the head do a couple of easy half circles. So from here, we're going to make our way down onto the ground. The chair will be in front of us again. And this is the spot where if you want to sit on a bolster to make some of these seated positions on the ground a little bit easier, slide your bolster in. Otherwise, we're sitting on the earth. We've got several different things that we'll be playing with here. The first of these poses will be in a cobbler's pose. It's like normal. I'm not super picky in restorative if the heels are super close into the pelvis, or if you're sliding them quite a bit further. You choose that appropriate distance. And the chair distance you'll have to also play with for your body. The ideas are, first step, just resting forearms, an easy tilt forward. If you want more, second step would be sliding the elbows out, forearms stack, forehead rest down. And if you want more, kind of like before, slide the chair further out, popping the wrist up, the head can dangle through. So you've got lots of options. Don't feel like this has to be at the limit of your flexibility necessarily, so much as this is you being present with your body, finding a place where it feels like it's going to be helpful and restorative to your system after all the work it does. What I love about this is you can play over time with how much the spine rounds versus how much I'm trying to allow it to be a little bit longer. Maybe at first it's more of that really rounded position. Sometimes in that specific case, by scooting the chair in even closer, it's able to be longer. And listen to the body, keep on playing. Walk the hands backwards until you're sitting back up. Let's take a gentle twist, right hand behind us, left hand on the chair. Just easy, easy spiral for the spine. And switch it out. Turning forward, the legs are going wider for this shape. Again, this could be the spot to sit on the bolster. This could be a spot to have maybe slightly bent knees, or it could be a spot just to be long and straight. So same types of options. Sitting up is perfectly fine. Leaning forward is fine. Scooting the chair to have more distance, more support is fine. Find a place that feels comfortable. Releasing, useful. I will note too, some days, the best thing that we can do for our spine would be to just back our whole system up until we're just sitting straight up against a wall. Easy elbows propped up, sitting straight up against the wall could be what the spine needs right now. So that's also an option. Sometimes I'll let there be some little jiggles in the legs, like one bends, then the other bends, just shaking them out. Especially if there's a lot of tension as I'm to it. Know that this is also one that could be used gripping onto the legs of the chair, using that as something to help you reach for. So lots of variations. One more cycle of breath here. Inhale 4, exhale 6. Using our way up. We've got one more stretch for each side. We're sliding our left leg to be in the center. Again, we could be sitting on bolster. We could be allowing leg to be straight or bent. Right foot simply comes in to touch the thigh. So from here, notice how maybe the hips want to turn you open to the side a little bit. So when we're trying to stay facing forward to the straight. Same approach. You're just sitting up tall. You're sliding forward until the forehead can rest. Or any of the other variations we've explored that are a little bit lower to the ground. One more deep cycle. 4. Exhale 6. As we ease our spine back up, we've got one last side. So start to straighten this right leg forward and through. Bring that bent shape to the left leg. Begin to find that final release. Really enjoying presence with this hamstring. So take one more of those breaths. Inhale 4, exhale 6. We start to rise up and out. Let's take hands behind us briefly. Feet planted about as wide as mat. Let's do a few more of those windshield wipers, really letting the knees rock as far over to the right as they can, all the way over to left. Easy and deep. Beautiful. The Shavasana option I'd like to offer today is using the chair. If you get into it, you stay for a minute or two and you prefer something else, that's always the freedom that you have to move into another place. But for today, our option is allowing ourselves to lay on our back and allow those calves to be comfortably placed right up onto the chair. So you'll want to play in a place where hips are just in the right spot. People that are shorter might scoot a little bit closer. People that are tall might need to scoot back, or the knees would be lifted off of the chair. So you'll have to play with exactly how the placement works best for your body. You'll notice the next question is kind of like, what do I do with my hands? So you could rest them on belly or heart. But allow them to be open to the sides, or even reach a little bit closer to up overhead. So it's up to you. Find the placement that feels restful and allows the muscles of the back to be open. So think of the shoulders being open, maybe even shoulder blades squeezed together a little bit. The back of the neck, place it nice and long so the chin tucks in just a little bit. That allows those muscles of the back of the neck to feel really good and open. Notice how maybe toward the beginning of class when we were doing some of the strengthening things, it's like it really woke us up to have to exert energy. But notice by this point in class, the complete difference. It's like every exhale is leading us closer to falling asleep. Sometimes it's even to that zone where there is a select chance I might fall asleep in Shavasana, and that's always fine if it happens. Nothing wrong. That's kind of what your body needs. But let yourself guide your body and your mind toward this restful state of Shavasana by taking at least a couple of more of those conscious counted breaths. Inhale 4, exhale 6. At some point, the counting will fall away. We'll just be in the peaceful, restful state. Begin to deepen our inhales and our exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really nice for the body. Just want to keep moving the arms for a few more breaths, that's fine. If anybody wants a fetal position, you're welcome to roll off the chair onto one side. All up to you. Either way, let's give it maybe another 3 or 4 deep, full breath cycles. Rising up to a comfortable seated place. When the body feels ready, rise. You're joining the hands together in front of the heart. You reconnect to that idea of rest. Maybe there's other aspects of our day before we can get to our bed. In which case, perhaps try to allow even those events to be restful rather than effortful. And if bed is a very soon step for us, we allow ourselves to transition toward that state. Utilize this slow breath to lead us toward all the dreams that may be on our way tonight. So with this class wrapping up, let's allow ourselves to finish with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.